After 9 years, David Gilmour has finally released a new solo album, only his fifth in his nearly 60-year music career. Does it live up to his legacy? My review of Luck and Strange is coming up next on Track by Track. Hey everybody, my name's Kyle and this is Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. Thanks for tuning in today, and if this is your first time here, please take a second to click subscribe so you won't miss future reviews and more. Yes, I Have Ghosts is the name of one of the bonus tracks on the new album from David Gilmour, but it's a title that also seems to be an apt descriptor of the legendary rocker's septuagenarian status. The genesis of his journey was taking the place of a madman. His now decades-spanning spat with another former bandmate has become music's ugliest conflict and brought new meaning to the lyrical question, which one's pink? And even in recent months, when he said he would no longer play much of the music his legacy was built upon, he's now reconsidered, recognizing those songs are indeed ghosts that will always haunt him. To be fair, that last bit of haunting has much more to do with the fans, like you and me, than it does with Gilmour himself. Throughout the man's solo career, he's made a concerted effort to present himself not as the guitarist and vocalist from Pink Floyd, but rather as simply David Gilmour. I don't find any of his solo albums to sound remarkably like Pink Floyd beyond his own signature and inescapable guitar sound. There's Floydian flavors sprinkled throughout, I suppose, but most of his solo songs would sound entirely out of place on any of his former band's albums, at least the ones recorded prior to Roger Waters' departure. Some would say A Momentary Lapse of Reason and The Division Bell were Floyd albums in name only. I won't personally go to that extreme, but I will certainly recognize them as a bridge to Gilmour's true solo output that would follow. Luck and Strange is, of course, the next evolutional step in Gilmour's journey. And mind you, it is evolutional, not revolutional. There's nothing here that feels as if it's out of alignment with the musical cycle that began on an Island in 2006 and continued on 2015's Rattle That Lock. Even stepping away from the microphone to let his daughter take lead vocals on the song Between 2 Points doesn't feel entirely out of place. Her mellow and relaxed singing style is certainly in keeping with her father's vocal vibe. There's a Dido quality to her voice, and she's well suited to the material. That being said, Between 2 Points is the only non-original track on the album, and as songs go, it's fine. I'm not sure I see the appeal of covering it, but being a largely unfamiliar song for the majority of listeners, it also carries less baggage than if he'd covered something more well-known. Here, the Gilmour clan truly makes it their own. Still, the choice to include a cover song on an album with only 7 total songs feels a bit odd. I mean, when we have to wait 9 years between albums and then we get the shortest album in Gilmour's discography, you can't help but question all of the choices. In addition to the 7 new songs, we do get 2 short instrumental interludes here, including the obligatory album opening prelude. Black Cat sets the mood nicely with a beautiful but brief Gilmour guitar solo. I honestly wish he'd fleshed this piece out a bit more because it's brimming with potential. Then again, I can appreciate it getting out of the way so we can dive right into one of the album's best songs. Title track Luck and Strange notably features keyboard work from the late Richard Wright, so a certain degree of reverence is appropriate here. There's nothing revolutionary about this song, it's just Gilmour doing what Gilmour does best, a bluesy, spacey number featuring hypnotic backing vocals and his trademark guitar work layered over Hammond organ accents. Great stuff, to be sure. Then on back-to-back tracks, The Piper's Call and A Single Spark, Gilmour shifts gears into a more exotic, almost tropical mode. Piper's Call was, of course, the first single from the album, and I was admittedly underwhelmed by it upon release. Hearing it within the full album song cycle, though, I do enjoy it much more. And I like how it leads into A Single Spark, with its Caribbean-esque rhythm and languid instrumentation. Another album highlight for me. But the true high point of this album is the closing number. Scattered is easily the most Floydian song on Luck and Strange, with very strong echoes of, well, echoes. The plinking piano notes floating over the lush synthesizer beds is unmistakably inspired by that classic track. There's a bit of a Gershwin-style break that pops up a couple minutes into things that feels out of left field, but not so much that it takes me out of the vibe. And as with so many of Gilmour's best songs, it's all built around the guitar solo. And not just one solo, there's like 3 of them here, starting acoustic before transitioning to electric. 2.5 minutes of virtuosity at the highest level. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Rounding out the track list are a couple songs that feel more like filler to me. Dark and Velvet Nights is the most rocking song, so to speak, on the album. It also strikes me as the most formulaic song on the album, with elements thrown in to be sure all the boxes get checked without ever developing into anything terribly interesting. Then on Sings, we get Gilmour at his most sentimental, and that's saying something on an album with themes overflowing with sentimentality. That's got more to do with lyricist Polly Samson most of the time, but Gilmour seems so closely to match her tone here musically that it comes across as borderline schmaltzy. Now, I mentioned bonus track Yes I Have Ghosts at the beginning of this review, and technically speaking, it isn't an official album track. And actually, you may recall it was originally released back in 2020 to accompany the release of Samson's novel. Not unlike The Piper's Call, I actually enjoy the song much more as part of the Luck and Strange listening experience. It feels right at home here, albeit unofficially so. All in all, I was pleasantly surprised by this album. The early singles we received didn't particularly inspire me, with Dark and Velvet Nights being a low point then and now. But I give credit to Gilmour as an album artist in that it all feels much better together than it did on its own. Certainly this is a greater than the sum of its parts scenario here. And I would also say this is perhaps Gilmour's most cohesive album listening experience of his solo discography. It's a short one though, so maybe that sets the bar a little lower. Maybe I wish there was more, but then again, more isn't always better. I'm fairly satisfied with what we've got. So I'm giving David Gilmour's Luck and Strange an X rating of 7 out of 10. It's a mature and unpretentious piece of work from a legendary artist, haunted by the ghosts of his past, yet clearly at peace with all that they represent. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, plus check out some of these other videos below that I think you might also enjoy. And of course, be sure to subscribe, because true music fans always want new releases the day they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.